Mark Meyer, Christiansburg, District B. On March 11, you, the board, had a meeting and decided to dismiss me without even calling me in to share my thoughts. I feel that after 6 years of being superintendent in this county, I still deserve due process and at least the opportunity to share my side of what transpired that day. I admittedly lost my temper on March 10 when speaking to Dr. Whitaker about my own child. I sincerely want to apologize for that. I acted in the capacity of an upset parent, not as superintendent, yet you dismissed me without even talking to me. Since you didn't hear some of my thoughts now regarding the issue surrounding my dismissal. As a parent who shares joint legal and physical custody of my child, who I love more than anything, the school should not be allowed to change my child's name without my permission. The reason I was against this change is irrelevant and it's personal. It is protocol in our schools that when this happens with any other issue involving a student who has two parents with joint custody, that either the parents come to a consensus or the courts decide. However, the board felt that it could take my right away as a parent and change my child's name without my permission. Sue, you threatened me in February saying that if I didn't allow my child to change her pronouns, it wouldn't look good for my job. I felt coerced and regretfully agreed to do so. I was not going to do the same with my child's name. I did not give up my rights as a parent when I became superintendent. In March, I requested that I be allowed to write a note of thanks to the students, employees, and parents. You denied me the dignity to do so after 30 years in public education, so I'd like to take this time to thank the MCPS community for giving me a wonderful 6 years as superintendent. I gave you the best that I had and always tried to do what was best for students first. I would like to give a special thanks to some amazing board members, such as Joey Lyons, Guna Karan, current members Jamie, Dana, and Marty. We didn't agree on everything, but you always advocated for students, were on the board for the right reasons, and treated me with dignity and respect. As for Mark, Sue, and Penny, as superintendent, working with you was unbearable. You rarely mentioned students as a basis of your decisions. If we disagreed, you found it acceptable to treat me and others with disrespect. You are not on the board for the right reasons. You're not what's best for the children in this county. I'd like to remind all parents who are listening that if the school board can infringe upon my parental rights as a superintendent, they will certainly do the same to you given the chance. Let's make some positive changes to this board. I'm excited to announce that I'm going to do my part by running for school board in District B in November. I know that I still have much more to contribute to the MCPS community. Lastly, Dr. Reagan, I sincerely wish you the best.
Thank you, Dr. Meyer. Next, we have Meredith Meyer, and on deck after that is Stevie Bowman.
Hello, my name is Meredith Meyer and I live in Christiansburg. I'm here today to not only support my husband, but to personally thank the community for all of their support. The past year has been tremendously difficult for our family, but the thing that has helped us move forward has been the support of the community. I want to thank the many people who have stopped me in stores, restaurants, and hiking trails to share not only their shock and sadness over my husband's dismissal, but also appreciation for his leadership. When COVID hit, our dining room table became the command center for finding solutions to problems no superintendent in America had ever dealt with. I watched with pride as my husband organized his team to figure out how to continue to provide instruction, food, and connection to students without the benefit of time or previous experience. And when returning to school became a possibility, even when he faced harsh resistance from some board members, he worked even harder to get Montgomery County Public School students back in the classroom where they belonged. Although we are all far from the spring of 2020 and the tense school board meetings that captured the attention of so many, it is easy to forget what we saw and how we felt. I was proud of my husband and his team's dedication to getting back to the business of educating students. I had a small window into the behind-the-scenes planning that occurred to make schools, buses, and classrooms safe learning spaces. It was quite extraordinary to witness the complex organization of resources, implementation of new procedures, and the out-of-the-box thinking needed to meet the challenge at hand. While I had the opportunity to witness the behind-the-scenes planning for the new reality of COVID and our journey back to normal, I would be remiss if I didn't recognize that it was the teachers, the bus drivers, the instructional assistants, coaches, administrators, and staff who got it done day in and day out. In addition to observing the COVID nightmare, as the wife of a superintendent, I was able to witness the many ways Mark positively impacted the school system over the last 6 years. And when people stop me to share their appreciation for his job well done, they often emphasize his presence in each and every school, his accessibility, and the collaborative environment his leadership invoked. My husband is not only a great leader, but he is a creative problem solver with a passion for improving education. I could stand here and list all the programs and opportunities and processes that he enacted for the betterment of our students, teachers, and staff, but I don't have enough time. He has changed this county for the better, and his contributions will not easily be forgotten. The exciting news is that we can now look forward to the contributions he will make as a school board member. Don't forget to vote this November.
Thank you, Mrs. Meyer. All right, Stevie Bowman.
Good evening. My name is Stevie Bowman. I am the chapter chair of Moms for Liberty, and I live in Reiner. I'm going to make this quick tonight. We've been here a long time. I want to start off with just saying what a proud mom I am tonight. As I was sitting there, I was pleasantly surprised to see pictures of my daughter when she won her state championships at Auburn for her softball team. I have to say it was hard to hold back tears, though, because it reminded me of all the things that she is now missing. She should have been on the volleyball team and here tonight to celebrate her state championship. I also wanted to start off and thank Dr. Bragan. Thank you for meeting with me and my husband. We talked about the need for a sexual assault policy in our schools, and I just appreciate you listening and caring and promising to take action. So thank you for that. Tonight, I encourage everyone that is involved in creating the sexual assault policy and in implementing it to make it a top priority this year. I've met with Dr. Johnson, Mr. Garrettson, and Dr. Bragan regarding the policy, and I anticipate that they should have one very soon. So I ask you, the board, tonight, that when that policy reaches you, you will vote to approve that policy. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bowen. And no clapping, please. Let's keep this moving. And I apologize, I didn't call who was on deck next, and it was Chris Obenchain. So if Chris is here, it is your turn.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Chris Obenchain. I'm a parent from Blacksburg, and I'm here tonight to talk about parents. And I would like to ask you at this first board meeting of the year, as we go into the year and as you have many decisions to make about things that affect our schools, I would ask you as a parent to consider the voices of parents and to listen to parents, and in particular to remember the rights of parents to decide what is best for their children and what is best for their health and their education and their freedom. Parents matter. Parents matter because they're the first teachers of their kids. We parents matter because we're our kids' first coaches. We're our kids' first bus drivers. And we are the first ones who get to see that gleam of excitement in their eye when they discover something new and when they discover the joy of learning. And as I talk to parents, whether they are public school parents, whether they're private school parents, whether they're homeschool parents, what they want is not extreme. A lot of parents want the same things. They want their children to have adequate facilities to learn in. They want their children to be safe at school and to be safe going to and from school. They want their children to be able to go into a library and not be confronted by pornography. They want their children to be taught the fundamentals of education, of literature, of history, of science, and math, to focus on those things. And they want their children, when they're able to achieve something extraordinary, to be able to be recognized for those achievements. Members of the board, parents are not supplemental to education. Parents are fundamental to education. I know that our new superintendent made an effort to meet with parents before he took on this role, and I think that's fantastic. I think that's great. I would ask you as members of the board not to make that a one-time thing, but to make that part of your policy moving forward as a board. I would encourage you to set up an advisory board for parents on a permanent basis so that this board can have consistent input from parents on all manner of topics that affect our children. And so I ask you as you move forward in the year to think about the parents, think about ways that parents can be involved and how you can listen to their voice in these decisions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Obenchain. Seeing no other speakers signed up,